friends, on this terrific Tuesday. Got another acronym for you there. That's not an acronym, is it? No, I don't know what it's called. I don't remember English. Uh-oh. Oh, yes, there it is. Okay, I can hear. Terrific. What is it, alliteration?
It's a day of the week. Just roll with day of the week.
It's a day of the week. It is. It is a day of the week, and it is a Tuesday on the day of this week. And we have still a lot of sports news going on right now. If you're a fan of the World Cup is in full swing right now. We've got a lot of games going on pretty much each and every single day. Last night, we had quite the lineup, and I know to our good friend Bryant Dacus, who for some reason we seem to mention his name quite a lot. I guess he's just all over all of the niche sports scenes, I guess is what you'd like to call it.
You got a text message already, sir. One of our great listeners, I think this came from Big Run, that says, alliteration. Y'all need to go back to school.
Alliteration. Did I not just say that? I feel like
you say iteration.
I didn't say iteration.
I didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything. I was trying to figure it out.
Between you and your texter, sir.
Well, thanks, Big Ron. We know, I'm just guessing, Big Ron, you like books. You like to read. You're one of the few out there that still does.
Okay, I'm guessing he texts again. Neither one of us said the word. He was giving us the word and said we took too long.
Oh, we took too
long. To get
okay.
The actual correct word.
All right, well, there's your English lesson for today. I didn't know that we would be going down that route, but here we are. It's a terrific Tuesday. What an alliteration that was. I guess is what you want to call it. But anyways, in the World Cup news, yesterday, I know the big disappointment was Spain and Cape Verde.
How about big upset? That's what I call it.
Yeah, it basically was an upset. But yesterday, if you're a fan of outright wins in games, then this World Cup has to be the antithesis of what you're all about. Because yesterday we had 4 games, and all 4 games were played to a draw. Spain and Cape Verde battled to a draw of 0-0. They played in Atlanta yesterday. Belgium and Egypt battled also to a draw of 1-1. They played in Seattle. Saudi Arabia and Uruguay and the Miami Gardens in Florida played one another also to the draw of a score of 1-1. And Iran and New Zealand in Inglewood, California concluded yesterday's slate of games with yet another draw, 2-2. So there's been a lot of draws going on today, but maybe today we'll see something different. Today, if you're wanting to line up for wanting to go out there and catch all of these great World Cup games, starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon, I'm giving you all the Central Times, starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon for us, it is France taking on Senegal in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Then later on this evening, it'll be Iraq and Norway at 5 o'clock in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Argentina then will play Algeria in Kansas City tonight at 8 o'clock. And then a really late game tonight from, I would say, Darian's favorite state in the United States of America, in California. In Santa Clara, we have Austria versus Jordan. That begins at 9 our time, midnight for them over yonder.
Got a quick trivia question for you.
Oh, I like trivia.
All right, Cape Verde. Are we saying Cape Verde or Cape Verde?
Cape Verde. Would you like to say
Verde.
Cape Green?
Okay. All right. How many residents are in Cape Verde versus Spain?
Versus Spain? Spain's definitely in the millions. Let's say 8 million in Spain. Do you have those numbers? Or you just
I got those numbers ready. Yeah.
It's not 8 million?
No, it's not. So this is the largest, I guess, size population difference from yesterday. Spain, 49.7 million people.
Oh, way off.
And your boys from Cape Verde, 560,000 residents.
I had a feeling it was going to be in the 100,000s. Wow. Okay. And they battled to a draw against Spain. I know a lot of people had a
That's
pool.
why I said major upset.
Yeah. I think, but I know there's a lot of people that had a pool or had high hopes for Spain to just trounce all over Cape Green, if we're going to talk English over here. And so the fact that they left them scoreless, I don't know if that means that Spain was just terrible on offense. Both sides were great on defense. Me playing the limited amount of soccer that I've played in my life, I can't really speak a lot to soccer. The highest form I played was actually at Bellevue Baptist Church on the recreational league. So I don't know how much that translates to going over into the World Cup. I'm guessing not at all. But with the World Cup, there's been a lot of interesting stories that have come out with it, and one of them involves, I would like to say, the least likely candidate that you would ever hear to be a part of something like this. But then when you think back at all the great moments that this man has had in his life, it actually kind of makes sense. This story involves Jameis Winston, the beloved backup QB currently right now for the New York Giants, setting to return for his 12th season in the NFL. Hard to believe that he's been in the NFL for 12 years to this point. But the story surrounding Jameis Winston in the World Cup. So Jameis Winston was there when the Netherlands took on Japan. And ever since 1998, Japan's fans have made headlines for cleaning up their section after matches. And on Sunday, Jameis Winston actually stayed afterwards to help out with them. Before the game, Jameis Winston actually walked out with the Netherlands, as they quote unquote call their Orange Army. And then following a thrilling 2-2 draw, Winston then headed to the stands to assist Japan fans in cleaning up. But this is the best part of the story and the most Jameis Winston thing that you could possibly hear. Jameis Winston not only went up there to help Japan clean up their section and clean up the stands, which is very noble act, but that man made for himself a custom Japanese jersey with his name on the back and the number 4. Now, I'm no mathematician, but I don't know if Jameis Winston has ever worn the number 4, but the man went out there and created for himself his own Japanese jersey that says Winston on the back and a number 4, and did all that to, I guess, make sure that people knew that it was Jameis Winston going out there to clean up. Probably not. Just a little act of the kindness out of Jameis Winston's heart. But that man, I mean, he's always making headlines. Most of the time, not for the best of reasons. It's usually that he threw for 500 yards in a game. Unfortunately, 100 of those yards goes the opposite directions in interceptions and whatnot. But I did want to open up the floor, and if people are listening and they'd like to text in and they'd like to give us what their favorite Jameis Winston moments are in just the history of this man being in football. It can be college football, in the NFL, outside on the streets, them doing their, their schedule release for the Giants where he was on the streets doing Pictionary with the fans. I mean, this dude is probably the king of side quests, of doing whatever he wants to do, going and just saying the most random things. For me personally, it's not necessarily a funny moment, but I do think it's fantastic. It was the year in which he got drafted. Jameis Winston goes, did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have that number 1 pick? No, they did. And they selected, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selected Jameis Winston. Number 2 pick was the Tennessee Titans going with Marcus Mariota. The beautiful thing about that is the number 1 and 2 pick actually played each other in the first game of that year, the Buccaneers versus the Tennessee Titans. And the beautiful thing about it is both of them, their first touchdown passes went to the Titans. Marcus Mariota's first touchdown pass went to the Titans, and Jameis Winston's first touchdown pass was a pick 6 to the Titans. So that's got to be that's got to be a kickoff for.
Did you know Winston was also drafted in the MLB to play baseball?
Yeah, I usually when I hear that, I usually think of Kyler Murray. Where'd he go? Where'd he get drafted in the MLB?
Let's see. I had it just a second ago, but it said he was drafted in the 12th round.
Wow. Are you sure it's not Kyler Murray?
Texas Rangers. No, I'm looking at Jameis. No,
wow.
It was Kyler as well, but Jameis Winston. Winston was also drafted earlier in his baseball career by the Texas Ranger in the 15th round. Of 2012.
Wow, good for him. Clearly did not make very many headlines.
Look, the rest of the sentence, he ultimately chose not to sign and opted to play football instead.
I was about to say, I feel like we might have heard something from it, but I think he made the right decision. A lot more fame and popularity going that route, and just,
that wasn't a good draft either. I pulled that draft up. The rest of these names are lackluster, to say the least.
So Jameis Winston was the biggest name, huh?
You got Jameis, Marcus Mariota, Dante Fowler Jr., Amari Cooper, Brandon
NFL
Scherf
draft. Okay.
From Iowa. Leonard Williams, I guess he's still doing well. Just won him a Super Bowl up there in Seattle. Kevin White, Vic Beasley, Eric Flowers, Todd Gurley. Those are your top 10.
Golly, what a drop off from Todd Gurley.
He was running to the ground. He was ground to the nub.
But it was just such a drop off. The dude was clearly the best running back in the league, and then he just had his one down year with the Rams.
He was overused though, right?
Was he though? I don't think he was overused. I don't know. It's just like I don't know, but I can't remember the full scope of the story. But I know when it comes to things like that, there are a lot of times when the passion just runs out or something just happens in somebody's life where they're just not up to par where they used to be. Him definitely getting traded to the Falcons did him absolutely no favors. That was definitely not a good landing spot for him there. But Darian, do you have any favorite moments from Jameis Winston and just the career? There's so many to choose from. I don't think there's a wrong answer to this question.
Absolutely. I got it queued up, ready to go. This came
we got
from November of 2024, the snow game. You ready for it?
Listen up, folks.
Said you don't become a Brown until you beat the Steelers. What will it take tonight?
The horse is prepared for battle, but victory comes from the Lord. So I'm dependent on the Lord.
Is that the message to the team?
Day by day, one play at a time. That's the message.
Weather conditions tonight. We're expecting winds up to 15 miles per hour in a wintry mix. How will that impact your ability to throw the ball?
I am so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed me to play in some snow, to be in true football weather in Cleveland, Ohio, at Huntington Bank Field today to give him the glory. It's a beautiful day.
Sure feels like you're playing in the AFC North.
It is. It's magical. Thank you.
I mean, that says
Victory comes from the Lord, baby.
The horses are prepared for battle and victory comes from the Lord. I mean, I'm fired up. Darren, you and me, we need to go play some football right after this. I got a football in my car. We'll go throw it in the parking lot after this, man. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. And that's the beautiful thing about Jameis Winston.
Need to do another alliteration of that.
Nah, I don't know about that. I don't want to get called out by Big Ron over there in his English background with all of his reading and knowledge and whatnot. I think I've dealt with that enough for today. But man, there's just so much out there, and I believe the longer and longer we can keep Jameis Winston around, the better and better the sports world is going to continue to be. Just the fact that he's out there doing what he's doing with these fans and just living his life to the fullest. I mean, he's got a great life, and I think he's living it up to the fullest. So huge shout out to Jameis Winston. Absolutely, just I love that he's going out there doing this stuff. I love that he has so many quotes out there. Maybe 2% of it makes sense, but man, it still fires you up nonetheless, no matter what it is he's saying. Apart from that one game where he was telling his team that they need to eat dubs, and he was actively eating a W in his hand, and nobody knew what to do with that. He didn't know what to do with that, but still, whatever he does 100%. You can't deny that, whether that's throwing pick sixes or throwing for 400 yards in a game. The dude goes out there and gives you his all. So huge shout out to Jameis Winston. In other sports news, the story of Brandon Sorsby continues to unravel, and I think it has come to a full conclusion as he has now declared that he is likely going to be entering the NFL's supplemental draft. Now, you might be sitting at home and wondering, Landon, what on earth is this NFL supplemental draft? What on earth is this process? Why is it even happening? How is this even an option for Brandon Sorsby at this point? Well, a simple definition of the NFL supplemental draft is this. It is a separate process that is held in the summer for players who become eligible after the primary NFL draft concludes. And this typically applies to prospects whose college eligibility changes due to academic, disciplinary, or legal issues. So clearly, with everything that was surrounding this Brandon Sorsby story, and we'll talk a lot more with Ron Higgins here in just a little bit about what he thinks about all of these kind of things going on. This is kind of a last resort for Brandon Sorsby, for him to do something like that. But furthermore, on giving you more information on what exactly this supplemental draft is.
In layman's terms, I got a quick one. It says it operates like a silent auction, basically.
Basically, yes. Silent auction is a great way to phrase that. The order for the supplemental draft differs from the regular spring draft. The supplemental draft order is divided into three groups: teams with 6 or fewer wins in the previous season, the remaining non-playoff teams, and then the 14 playoff teams. The order within each group is randomly selected, and if a team is interested in selecting a player, it bids one of its draft picks for the following year on that player. This supplemental draft is not held every single year. It's held in very special occasions to the fact that this hasn't happened since 2023. 2 eligible players were available that year, Jackson State's Malachi Weidman and Purdue's Milton Wright, and neither player was selected in that supplemental draft in 2023. A player has not been selected in the supplemental draft since 2019 when the Arizona Cardinals selected defensive back Jalen Thompson. But these are the notable names from people who have come out of the supplemental draft in the NFL. In 2019, Jalen Thompson, of course, in the 5th round was selected by the Arizona Cardinals. In 2012, wide receiver Josh Gordon in the 2nd round was claimed by the Cleveland Browns. In 2011, QB Terrell Pryor in the 3rd round went to the then Oakland Raiders. 2007 was a big year for the supplemental draft as defensive back Paul Oliver. 4th round went to the San Diego Chargers, and offensive tackle Jared Gaither. I probably botched that very badly. In the 5th round, he went to the Ravens. Let's see if there's any other notable people. There was a 1987. This was a good one. Linebacker Brian Bosworth went 1st round to the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He was part of the supplemental draft. And then QB, the very first one in 1985, QB Bernie Kosar, 1st round to the Cleveland Browns. So,
all right, quick trivia question. Do you know where you can catch the bars at as of today, right now, 2026?
I feel like I should know this.
You should know it. All right, I'll give it to you. Dr. Pepper commercials with Arch Manning. He's the sheriff.
He sure is. Golly, that is a great pull. I feel like I should have known that.
No. Give yourself some credit. You normally say that this stuff is before your time and make yourself younger than what you are, but that's why you didn't notice the bars, because you're younger than what you are. So.
Well, I am young. That part is factually true. I am a very young man.
And plus, he doesn't have a mullet, so he has a normal haircut looking like a dad.
No,
now,
but now I will forever remember that Brandon Bosworth is the mayor of Dr. Pepper Town. Is that what they call it? No, Fansville. That's what they call it. They call it Fansville. Great commercials, by the way. And I don't know about you, but I have been on a Diet Dr. Pepper kick the past couple of weeks. When that little guy on the commercial comes out and says, "It's the sweet one," I'm telling you that it's true to the.
His name
is
Sweet, by the way.
the Sweet.
His name is Sweet, by the way.
Sweet. Well, hey,
he reminds you of Prince almost, but his name is Sweet.
I mean, hey, it fits.
That's why he says Sweet.
We're gonna need to clip that, use a sound bite. That's gonna be my text tone going forward. Is Darian doing the little sweet guy from the Diet Dr. Pepper commercials? That's fantastic. I was not expecting that, but man, what a great little tangent there. But that's about all you need to know about Brandon Sorsby and the supplemental draft. Of course, we're gonna talk a little bit more with Ron Higgins about that here in just a few minutes, about what he thinks about Brandon Sorsby finally just getting out of, I guess, Texas Tech and all the allegations, the Big 12 trying to sue him, all of this legal stuff going on. So I guess his final resort was just to get out of there and go into the NFL draft, and hopefully somebody picks him up. He'll be a good third stringer for a little bit. I mean, who knows? At this point, the Pittsburgh Steelers might pick him up and just add him to their quarterback room. They've already got Will Howard, Drew Allar, Mason Rudolph, Aaron Rodgers in his last year. So why not add another QB, right? I mean, it's like we're the Cleveland Browns out here, which in my opinion, the Cleveland Browns should trade Dylan Gabriel to the Atlanta Falcons. Do you know why?
Not at all.
It would be, and I may be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure it would be the first time in NFL history that an entire QB room would be entirely left-handed. Michael Penix Jr., Tua Tagovailoa, and Dylan Gabriel, all left-handed peoples. 2 out of the 3 are Polynesian as well, which I think is pretty awesome. Tribal tattoos are sweet.
Is that a good thing, though? Think about it. If I'm Brian Flores from the Minnesota Vikings.
Are we looking at good things, or are we looking at noteworthy and headline worthy?
I'm just saying from a schematic standpoint.
Because I'm not an Atlanta Falcons fan, so I could care less.
No, I was just saying from a schematic standpoint, does that help or hurt you? Does it help you offensively versus a defensive team? Like if I'm Brian Flores from the Minnesota Vikings and all of you guys are left-handed, I think it's pretty easy to scout and know what you're doing, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
Very few options, right?
It is very few options. When I would say, just throwing a random stat out there, when like it feels like more than 90% of the league is right-handed. I mean, that is dominant. Having that many lefties, it's interesting. I don't really know how much that would affect.
Well, I guess let me clarify. I was coming from the standpoint of, how you prepare for a starter, and let's just say your starter was left-handed, but your backup is right. Now that's a wrinkle if your starter gets hurt or something. It's like, oh my God, we've been prepared for the right now.
Do we know?
But if everybody's left-handed, it doesn't matter who's in the game. We know what we're preparing for. That's all.
Yeah. Do we know who all is in the Falcons QB room right now? It's Michael Penix Jr., Tua Tagovailoa. Wow, Trevor Siemian is over there, and undrafted free agent Jack Strand.
Trevor, I believe, is right. Is a righty, right?
Yeah, he is. Trevor Siemian, it feels like he's been everywhere. He's about to turn into Colt McCoy or something. He's about to be in the league forever.
Or Chase Daniels action.
I guess so, but I completely forgot about Trevor Siemian. I'm pretty sure Trevor Siemian was with the Titans for a little bit there too. I don't think he really.
He's a culture guy.
No, he was there. He was there either last year or a couple years ago, and I was really mad at the Titans because they did not play him at all. And this is a Trevor Siemian who is listed as a veteran. Clearly, the
2020 he was with you.
Yeah, 2020. Wow, that long ago. Good grief. I've got my years mixed up or something like that. But yeah, I was really mad that year that they did not utilize him at all.
I'm sorry, 2 stints, 2020 and 24-25, 2 stints with you.
I was about to say he did come back. It was very recent. It was very recent when he came back. I completely forgot about that. But I was really mad because who else was in the QB room that year when Trevor Siemian was there? I know it was Will Levis.
The 24-25 season.
Yeah. It was Will Levis, and I believe, is that when we went out and we got Josh Dobbs or Mason Rudolph? I think it was one of them. You said that was the 2024, 2025.
Says Mason Rudolph, Malik Willis, and Will Levis.
And Will Levis. That's right. So that's when Will Levis was
Rudolph
starting.
was ahead of Malik Willis. He was number 2.
Yeah. And Siemian was in that QB room too, and they just did not utilize him at all. I mean, this is a veteran who stepped in and helped out a lot of teams. I mean, we could have at least won a couple more games with him there, but that's a big what-if game. That's in the past. None of that is relevant to what we're talking about right now. But before we hit a break real quick, and we'll talk extensively with Ron Higgins about the College World Series. Have you been following the College World Series at all?
Absolutely. Hottie Toddy is at home right now, courtesy of Troy. That's my big one right now because of where we are regionally.
How about that Troy team? They're going to be taking on West Virginia. I mean, that whole side of that bracket is insane. Isn't West Virginia like a 16 seed?
I thought they were. Yeah, I think they were the 16th. Yep, yeah, I remember that number next to them.
That's insane. But also their record was phenomenal. They're like 45-15 or something on the year.
And they play John Denver when they win. So hey,
they do, and that hits different in the land of country roads. The Shenandoah River. That was beautiful. I love that video, and I love that song. Shout out John Denver. Just an incredible song there. Maybe one of the most recognizable songs of all time. But yeah, yesterday we had 2 games. We had a doozy with Texas absolutely whooping Alabama 14-2. And then we had a really great game with some stellar pitching matchups with Georgia's Aoki, who had 6 strikeouts, and Oklahoma's Mercurius, who had 9 strikeouts. These guys were going after it yesterday, but ultimately it was Oklahoma that got out to an early lead and would eventually be winning 4-3. But Georgia, though they lost yesterday, are not down and out just yet. They will be playing Texas later on this evening at 7 o'clock. That should be a phenomenal game to tune into. But before then, we have Troy in North Carolina, and we'll get more of the full scoop on that with Ron in here in just a second. That is all coming your way just around the corner. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to Wolo and Friends.
You do deserve a raise in the form of a sweet Diet Dr. Pepper. You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving two purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Being there for those we love can be so hard for people with chronic migraine. 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents, on average, 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo. Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Botox effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as trouble swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Those with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions like rash, breathing problems, dizziness, neck and injection site pain, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions like ALS, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medicines like botulinum toxins, which may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor about Botox. Visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Goo, Radio Gaga. All we hear is Radio
Welcome back into Wolo and Friends. I am Landon Schmidt filling in for Wolo. I don't even know if I introduced myself today. I think we just went right into alliterations with Terrific Tuesday.
Yeah, the people know you is sweet, so hey.
A little sweet. Yeah, I guess this portion of the show is brought to you by Diet Dr. Pepper. It's the sweet one. It's definitely not. So don't attack me for that. But definitely go out there and get one if you would like. But for right now, we have to switch our conversation and talk a lot about college, the SEC, the College World Series, and a lot of stuff going on in the world with that. And who better to do that with our SEC historian? That is Ron Higgins. Ron, good morning to you. And the first thing that I have to ask you is this story with Brandon Sorsby seems to continue to unfold time and time again, but it seems that we're going towards the direction of finally reaching a conclusion as Brandon Sorsby is looking to apply for the NFL supplemental draft. What are your thoughts on him pursuing this path?
I think he's realized that he's out of, legal options, that and maybe a question of finances and how much I want to pay the lawyers, or is Texas Tech paying lawyers? I don't know. I think maybe his lawyers advise him, look, this is bigger than we thought it would be. We have the conference suing and the Texas Tech suing, and I don't think Sorsby ever meant to take it this far to where everybody's filing lawsuits. I think he thought there'd be some legal problems, but not at this extent. So I think he said, you know what, I don't need this hassle. And I also believe that I think he realized that it'd be extremely difficult for him to play this year, especially on the road. And he'd be the center of attention, but the whole team would be getting it. And maybe he felt, listen, this is not giving this program the best chance to win of me being here. And so, I mean, one of my other options right now, but a supplemental draft is an option. I don't think he'll be drafted. I think he'll end up in one of the minor football leagues.
Yeah.
To prove himself. I don't think the NFL will touch him right now.
Yeah, I agree with you because that was one of the things that I was pointing out just a little bit ago is though he's applying for the NFL supplemental draft does not guarantee that he'll be selected. And my question was going to be what team in the NFL right now is actually seeking a backup QB role? It seems most of those are going to be filled in the NFL, so it does seem that he might find a landing spot somewhere in the UFL, maybe go up to the Canadian Football League. I mean, ultimately, if he were to go to the NFL, do you see an ideal landing spot for him anywhere?
No, I don't. I just don't think that the NFL is not a team. The NFL is desperate to get him. I go back to this whole thing. This guy was a good quarterback, but he wasn't a great quarterback. He just happened to be one of the highest rated ones in the portal, whatever that means. And so all of a sudden, you're making this humongous fuss over this quarterback who, honestly, nobody really ever heard of last year. They played for Cincinnati, but it's not like it was like a household name that's in the portal. And so it always amazes me how quickly this stuff blows up to a guy that average puts in the portal, and then all the hell breaks loose, and then all of a sudden he's a household name.
Yeah, it is very interesting. So I guess we'll just see how this all plays out. Definitely, to your point, there's just been so much surrounding him right now that I think it would be hard for him to find a landing spot within the NFL. But we'll keep an eye on it, as I'm sure this story is going to continue to unfold with him. But right now, the College World Series is in full effect. What have you made of all of these games so far?
Well, I think North Carolina's been the most consistent, which is a bit of a surprise. I mean, they played LSU, was it 2 or 3 years ago in the regional in Chapel Hill. This was between LSU's 23-25 national championship teams, and they took Carolina down to the last inning of the deciding game for losing. But Carolina lost in the regionals. I'm still liking SEC team in this, even though they're kind of taking each other out of it. I gotta admit, I was kind of stunned last night. Oklahoma beat Georgia. I mean, I just, Georgia kind of got down early, made some mistakes, and then kind of settled in. And you had the guy that played the last out you'd want there to win the game. Catcher, Player of the Year, and National Player of the Year, and he just popped up. So Georgia's got a tough road back. Oklahoma's a bit of a surprise because they were, I think, 14 and 16 in the SEC, which kind of shows you how strong the SEC is, that a 14 and 16 team can be in the position they are right now. But I think it's been a great World Series. I just love watching this thing, man. I think ESPN does a great job of covering it. And I've covered it before in person. It's a hell of a thing to go to. I mean, you ever get a chance to go to a College World Series, do it. And I've covered all kinds of major events, and that one ranks right up there. I mean, it's more of a festival type thing. If you watch the World Series, you see that big Ferris wheel in the background behind center field. I remember me and a couple other reporters from my newspaper in New Orleans went on that Ferris wheel and did a pregame filming shoot while going around the Ferris wheel.
Wow, that's cool.
It's a hell of a deal, and I love to sing it. We'll see how it plays out. I think now you got Texas and Georgia in an elimination match. I think that's right.
Yeah, playing.
Those are the two best teams in the SEC. One of them's going home right now.
Wow.
So that'll be a really game of desperation there.
Yeah. Well, so on the other side of that bracket, I mean, you've got some crazy teams with a very low seeded West Virginia and a shocking Troy that has just upset Ole Miss and has continued to keep fighting on. What have you made of these two teams?
West Virginia, I saw them last year. They lost to the Super Regional in Baton Rouge to the eventual national champions LSU. They're a good, solid team, and they got a lot of veterans on that team. That guy's elevated that program in just a few years. Troy is a stunner, and I tell you, you got to admire Troy, man. They're kind of got a lot of boxy. They don't. They believe they deserve to be there. They don't play uptight. They just go out and play. So we'll see if they last through one more round. It could be crazy in the end. I mean, because you have West Virginia versus an SEC school. I mean, you could have that, or North Carolina. North Carolina really has been, to me, the steadiest team. But again, as long as Georgia or Texas is in this thing, I really have more. I really have more faith in those teams more than Oklahoma. Even though Oklahoma's in the driver's seat, I just I keep waiting for Oklahoma to just kind of pull up a bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. So I know, Ron, for you primarily cover LSU, and LSU baseball is typically one of the best baseball programs, just consistently year after year. But this year, not even making the NCAA tournament. They went 9-21 in SEC play. What happened with LSU this year?
Well, first of all, there's four main transfers out of the portal. Position players that weren't very good. They tried to not be very good at all, and eventually Jay Johnson, LSU's coach, went with true freshmen who turned out to be pretty damn good. But maybe a little bit late in the season to use them. LSU starting pitching wasn't that good. The relief pitching wasn't that good. They never could put a complete game together. If all the pitching was good, the hitting would be bad, the fielding would be awful. Starting pitching would be good, the relief pitching would be bad, vice versa. They never could get on the same page this year, which was unusual for this program. And it forced Jay Johnson to look at a lot of things in the offseason, to evaluate a lot of things as far as the type of player he brings in, what kind of summer league should play in. This guy analyzes everything. I think he's a hell of a coach. It's unusual. LSU had one of those years, but it's like, I think Ole Miss had a 20-loss season after the national championship year. I think State had a 20-loss SEC season after their national championship year. And then LSU happened to have one this time around.
Yeah.
And it happens. And nobody in Baton Rouge is panicked. I mean, he's getting great guys out of the portal. I mean, he's really done you get the highest rate of play in the portal from Notre Dame to outfielder. He's getting good people. He's got a good class that gets some good players coming back. He managed to get his probably a possible first-round draft choice to come back to school. And the shortstop Stephen Milam, which was unbelievable. Probably the best shortstops in the nation. And he got him to come back to school, but must have been a hell of an NIL deal for him. But they got him to come back, and that's a big help. So they're kind of looking forward to next year. I mean, it's like I think everybody all the LSU baseball fans who live and die with this team, they were kind of, by mid-season, they knew this team they weren't going to come around, and they weren't going to rally in May or anything like that. So they're kind of like, well, let's just get through this season and let's get to the next one. So I think that's what probably the attitude right to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very fair assessment of where LSU is at right now. But going back to where the College World Series is right now, do you, Ron, have a favorite to win it all with the current teams that we have left remaining?
I still like Georgia. I really believe in Georgia. I still like them. Their coach was a pitching coach on the LSU's 2023 team who developed Paul Skeens. And I believe him. He's a smart guy. They got the best hitters in the league. I mean, they just launched home runs, but they ran to a really good pitching performance last night, which happens. But I think that probably, that they've kind of breezed through this NCAA tournament until then. And sometimes you need a little bit of a push, a little wake up call. You're maybe a little bit too comfortable, a little bit too confident, and it helps. I mean, very rarely do teams go through this thing unbeaten. LSU did last year, the second time in history, in its history. But every other time LSU, except for once, had lost a game somewhere along the way and came back to the losers bracket to win it. So it happens, and if you have enough leadership and enough pitchers, you can do it. The pitching is a big thing in this thing. You got to have enough arms to get you through. And that's why you see all these coaches they're leaving guys, starters, a long time. Because they don't want to have to use a ton of relief pitchers because they know unless they have to, unless they feel like we got to win this game, we're not going to be tomorrow. I can understand that. But a lot of times, if they're ahead and the starter's doing okay, they'll leave the starter in like at least 7 innings and try to get to the last 2 innings with like one reliever because they want to preserve pitching for this. It's an endurance test. That this is definitely the College World Series is an endurance test. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, and you definitely saw that with Georgia and Oklahoma last night. I believe both of their pitchers. I believe Georgia's pitcher pitched the entire game. Aoki pitched the entire game, and then Oklahoma's Mercurius pitched, I believe, 8 innings, and then they finally took him out in the 9th. So, yeah, to your point, this is definitely an endurance test, but I think they're passing with flying colors because this World Series has been absolutely phenomenal to watch so far. Kind of shifting conversation real quick before we have to let you go. I found that CBS Sports, going over into the college football side of things, it's never ever too early to start a list, no matter where you're at in the season or in the off season. But CBS Sports has compiled what they believe to be the top 5 quarterbacks heading into the 2026-2027 season. And I want to read it off to you and see if you agree with this list, if you take anybody out, add anybody, if they're just not mentioning anybody else. But this is what they have so far. Number 5, they have Julian Sayin. 4, Darian Mensah. 3, Trinidad Chambliss. 2, Arch Manning. And then number 1, Dante Moore. What do you think of that list?
I like the list. I mean, I wouldn't pull anybody out there. I think all those are viable names, especially the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Trinidad Chambliss, man. I love the way the guy plays. I love his competitive spirit. I love everything about him. It's still one of the great finds of all time in the portal.
Oh yeah,
one of the great late all time finds. You can argue maybe it got almost to the playoffs, or maybe it got Lane Kiffin a new job.
Yeah.
I mean, Arch really came along last year.
Mm-hmm.
It just started a little slow, but they settled into it. And he catches a lot of hell for being a Manning. I mean, for really no other reason than being a Manning, which I don't understand. Dante Moore is just a hell of an athlete.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the reason, Oregon hung around as long as it did in the playoffs. I mean, that was him. So, yeah, you got to have a good quarterback. I think Chambliss is the best one in the SEC. I mean, along with Arch. But if I had to pick one over the other, as much as I like Arch Manning, Trinidad Chambliss he is a warrior, and I love the way he plays. I would rate him number 1 in the SEC, slightly above Arch Manning.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there. Just what he was able to do in the playoffs last year, how he's able to conduct traffic during the plays, keep plays alive. Yeah. He's really a spectacle to watch. But I fully agree with you. Any other QBs in the SEC outside of Trinidad Chambliss and Arch Manning that we should probably be keeping an eye on for?
I'm trying to go from team to team. Someone's got what? I'm trying to remember right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
LSU got Sam Levitt, but it remains to be seen what happens to him. He had an off-season foot operation, and he played a little bit in the spring, but not much, and so he has to get acclimated in a hurry because of LSU's schedule. I tell you, the turnover was a lot at quarterback in the SEC. I mean. And so I have to go back and study up on it. But, because Pavia's not there. Mm-hmm. I think Aguilar's gone at Tennessee, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
LSU's got a new one. Alabama's going to have a new one.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I think Florida's going to have a new one. Georgia's got Gunnar Stockton back, I believe. And he's a good solid player. I mean, I'd rank him in the top 3 of the league.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there. So, but I also agree in the fact that we're definitely going to have to keep looking around and look at SEC quarterbacks. I know one of the big returners for Georgia and Gunnar Stockton. I believe he's going to have a really up year this year for them. And the Georgia Bulldogs just seem to always have fight in them. So we'll keep an eye on that. But Ron, as always, it is such a pleasure to talk with you. Wolo will be back next week. So thank you for putting up with John last week, me this week, but you'll have Wolo back, and we'll be back to our regular scheduled programming next week. You have a good day, my friend.
All right, guys, take care. We'll see you.
See ya. That is our SEC historian, Ron Higgins. On the other side, we're going to shift conversation to more local things with Jason Munz, as well as a very interesting topic that I'm sure Darian is going to be all over, and a lot of you should be all over as well. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Wolo and Friends.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Old Dominick Distillery is pouring Memphis pride into every cocktail. From the winning atmosphere at its downtown Memphis distillery to award-winning craft spirits, Old Dominick is pure Memphis spirit through and through. Swing by the distillery bar for a pregame cocktail or celebrate your wins with a guided tour and tasting. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life's sleep.
Marty McNate's on vacation, but passed along some exciting deals at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown's Volkswagen Driver Days event. If you're looking for sporty, we Gossett 2026 Jetta S. Just $249 a month. $249 a month for Jetta S. Luxury just got a new definition in 2026 Tiguan 2.0 TS. Now $269 a month. Brand new Tiguan S $269 a month. Plus 2026 Atlas SE. Only $329 a month. That's only $329 a month for a brand new Atlas SE. Marty McNate will be waiting for you at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road. Online, GossettVWG.com, and remember, your future's what you make it.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Atlas TC 564,681, MSRP 41,911, Jetta TMO 312,217, MSRP 25,791, Tiguan TMO 43,763, MSRP 32,881. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must be financed through Volkswagen Credit PF 895. Excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer in 6/30/26. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Hey, make some handle, take things over. Hey, let him loose, hard to swallow.
Welcome back into Wolo and Friends as we enter our final segment of the day. We're going to be talking here with Jason Munz in just a second. But man, we're going to have a great slate of the College World Series as it continues on today. As we mentioned, as we just talked about with Ron Higgins, you got Troy and North Carolina, or no, West Virginia and Troy playing this afternoon. And then, no, what am I talking about? West Virginia and Troy. And then later on this evening, Georgia and Texas. Both should be really good matchups, so definitely tune in to that. But we do have Jason Munz. And Jason, this morning, I have a very, very important question that I have to ask you to kick off today. You guys at the Commercial Appeal are trying to get to the bottom of one of life's greatest questions, and that is who in Memphis has the best chicken tenders? You guys are going out there with that competition, trying to find out what it is. Can you tell us what the parameters are? And can you, Jason, even though you're part of the Commercial Appeal, maybe give us a list of places to choose from or look at when we're talking about who in Memphis has the best chicken tenders?
All right, so I'm not. I do appreciate you bringing this up because this is incredibly important work on our part. I say that in jest, but nonetheless entertaining and certainly everybody's got an opinion on it. But from what I understand, it's I think it's like they're trying to keep chains and franchises out of the mix, unless it's like a local type, place that's got multiple locations or whatever, that's fine. But if it's like, a major, if it's like, I don't think Raising Cane's count.
Like Chick-fil-A.
And they should not count. No.
Yeah, like Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's, places like that.
Yeah, Slim Chickens. I don't think that counts.
Slim Chickens, that's a dagger. I love that place.
I know, I do too. I don't think Bojangles would.
That's fair.
Make the cut. So I think that's pretty much the only thing that matters.
Okay.
Like the only qualification or whatever for this. And I am partial to Bar Dog.
That is it. I'm sorry to jump in, but I did not know you were going to say that, Muzzy.
No, but literally before the break,
Bar Dog is it.
Before the break, I said Darian is going to love this topic. I said so jokingly, but now he's all on board. So this is great.
Yeah, no, to me, Bar Dog, it's in downtown Memphis, and it is really, really good. I highly recommend it. Although, I mean, like, I don't know if you guys have ever gotten down into DeSoto County, a place in Hernando called the Parish, which is, I think, more known for like its seafood dishes, but their chicken tenders are worth the trip almost, like by themselves. I highly recommend that as well. I wish, though, I will say, I do wish that we could sneak in, like, if I had any pull here whatsoever, I would try to like get them to bend the rules a little bit for Guthrie's. Like, I am,
Yeah, I do like Guthrie's.
I freely admit that it's nostalgic for me because when I was in college at Southern Miss in Hattiesburg, there was one located like right across the street from the school, and I mean, I don't know if I should admit this or not, but it was also on the way back to my house from the bar that I like to go to when I was in
this
college.
This is a safe space, Jason. You can tell us.
And so it was like it was like the go-to stop on the way home from the bar, and for that reason, it's very nostalgic for me. Guthrie's is so. But yeah, like I highly encourage everyone to let their voice be heard because we want to settle this debate once and for all.
Yeah, so tell the people more about where they can cast their vote, where they can throw their voice out, and like how all this is going to be tallied.
Yeah, it's on our website. It's at commercialappeal.com. I think you can just Google chicken tenders commercial appeal and it'll come up. But from what I understand, they're just taking nominations, and once I think they're doing that for the next. I'm trying to pull it up right now. They're gonna do nominations for the next week or so, I think. Nominations will be accepted actually for the next 2 days. So you better hurry if you want to nominate something. They're doing nominations for the next 2 days, and then after that, the voting will commence, and we'll do extra stories on that and stuff. But it's a really fun thing. That everybody has an opinion on. So I hope that Bar Dog does well because I've pumped him up pretty good.
Well, hopefully you definitely got Darian's vote, and you definitely got my vote.
I'm actually looking it up now. We have a bracket release date on June 19th, and the first round starts June 22nd, Landon.
There you go. Here we go. All right, we're all fired up over here for this, Jason. This is going to be awesome. But this is definitely something awesome that the commercial appeal does. I know you guys do it with the best burger, best pizza in town, and so why not add chicken tenders to that list? So I'm excited for what you guys come up with next as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I mean, obviously Gus's is pretty good. Like, I know that most people don't get their chicken tenders when they go to Gus's, but they do have chicken tenders, and I've had them once, and they were pretty good. So there's plenty of. That's the thing, is there's no shortage whatsoever of options. Like there's gonna be a long list as far as the voting.
Jason, this is Darren. If you got any pool, I think there should be one unique rule. All these chicken tenders have to be hand breaded. Those are the best chicken. These cannot be frozen tenders out of a plastic bag from PFG.
Can we even classify those
chicken?
as tenders?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I will mention that to our food.
Has to be hand breaded.
Yeah.
I will definitely
I'll definitely mention that.
Well, perfect. Well, Jason, with the very limited time that we have left, we do have to talk at least a little some sports before we head out today. So just real quickly, we know that the Tigers basketball roster has been developing more and more and more. And you had a story about what was his name, Tylik Weeks, joining the team, and you've labeled him as that he's going to be taking on this role of becoming a bully. Can you talk a little bit more about how he's going to fulfill that role with this Tiger basketball team?
Well, so that's his nickname, and he's had it since he was a kid. He was always like the biggest kid of his age group, and it actually I talked to his father, and I talked to him, and I talked to a guy who coached him at junior college, who was also an assistant last year at Southern Miss, where he played last year, and like that is just sort of the way he plays. He got the nickname when he was growing up in New York. He played football, and he was always bigger than everybody else his age. He just kind of like bullied them around. Like he was always imposing his will like at every turn, and so they started calling him bully, and that it truly is the way he plays. Like he is an attacker of the highest order. He puts his head down. That's his like go-to thing, is just sort of putting his head down and getting to the basket any way he possibly can. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of PJ Haggerty, the way he used to just sort of like bulldoze, like if he wasn't shooting a three, he was trying to get to the rim, and he was either getting fouled or he was scoring. And that's kind of Tylik Weeks' game. And I fully expect that to be, like what he brings to the table for Memphis. I mean, he is for sure the centerpiece of this new roster. And he's not changing his ways now. Like that's the way he operates. I do, in talking to him a few times over the last few weeks, like he has made it clear that he does want to be able to stretch the floor a little bit better than he has in the past. He's not been a very good 3-point shooter since he's been in junior college and at Southern Miss last year, but he is like super motivated to be better at that. And so, we'll see how that unfolds, but one way or the other, he's going to score a lot of points, I think, for Memphis. And he's going to be the guy. PJ was the guy when he was here, and Kendrick Davis was the guy when he was here. Tylik Weeks will be the guy, I think, this year.
Yeah, definitely. And the way that you reported on him and wrote that story, it definitely paints him in a light that he's going to be that go-to guy. He's going to be that glue that's holding this team together, and he's going to be a centerpiece. So I'm excited to see how he plays out with this Tiger basketball team, and it's getting me excited for next season. But Jason, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, giving us a little bit more of awareness on getting people out there to vote for their favorite chicken nuggets, and giving us a little bit more insight on this Tiger basketball team. I'm excited for everything coming down the pike.
Not chicken nuggets, tenders,
whatever. Chicken. I mean, come on now. Hand-breaded chicken tenders.
Hand-breaded boneless chicken.
There you go. If we're going to get all the parameters right, we got to get it right to the very last T. But Jason, thanks so much for putting up with John last week, me this week. Wolo's going to be back next week, but it's always a pleasure talking with you. You have a good one, all right?
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. That is Jason Munns, the Commercial Appeal beat writer for your Tiger basketball team. That's going to do it for us today. But don't go anywhere, because right around the corner, you're going to have Darian, probably, maybe. No, never mind. You're not going to have Darian. But you are going to have Jared. You are going to have good old
I'm on
Jay
vacation
Ham.
after this, sir.
Yes, sir. You're going to have Jay Ham, the basketball historian, and Johnny Radio himself. And as always, my friends, it's going to be a good day.